wellness checks for humans. They believe in wellness checks for air conditioning and heating systems to extend the life of the system you own. So what are you waiting for? Schedule your wellness check with Pioneer Air today. The number to call is 702-831-4840. Here's the best news. Mention this ad and you'll receive 10% off. Call Pioneer Air today. 702-831-4840. That number again, 702-831-4840. Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits here. I want to tell you guys about my good friends at the Postal Annex. They have a notary signing agent on site daily, no appointment needed, and they offer a full scale of printing services from shipping labels to documents, business cards, banners, photos, and business signage. They're your passport service headquarters. They offer passport photos and they can renew your adult passports. If you're traveling in a hurry, they can get those passports to you within 7 days or less. Mailbox rentals with a physical street address, and they also receive your packages from Amazon, UPS, FedEx, USPS, and more. Here's the best part. If you're a Pushing the Limits listener, they have an introductory rate of only $39 for a 3-month service. You can't beat it. Give them a call, 702-873-8005. Check them out at 6130 West Flamingo Road. It's the Postal Annex. And tell them I sent you. Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits, the fastest growing radio show in the Valley. And now we've expanded our reach to include live stream ads on social media with over 20,000 daily views. So are you ready to take your business to the next level? Then get in on the action. Our team will put together the right ad package for you that meets your business needs. So what are you waiting for? Send us an email, sales@ptlradioshow.com. That's sales@ptlradioshow.com. and reach your target audience while maximizing the advertising impact of your business. That email again, sales@ptlradioshow.com. That's sales@ptlradioshow.com. All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits, wrapping up a Friday edition. The weekend right around the corner, and it's always my most calm and collected, I guess you could say, segment of the week. That is for sure. I lose my voice. It's always towards the end of the show when I yell at these MAGA callers when I lose my voice. But, you know, my voice is still here for now, and that's what's most important. And the lovely lady joining us right now in this segment, as she does every Friday. I love her story, as I always like to say, pastor turned stripper, and the beautiful and always vibrant and OnlyFans model, Nikole Mitchell, joining us right now on the line as we talk a little pop culture. Nikole, how's it going? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm feeling so good. I'm so excited. The sun finally came back in California, and it has totally affected my mood for the better. So I'm doing so great. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm so jealous that you got the beaches out there. You know,
I know.
we don't have the beaches here, and I miss that.
When's the last time you were in California?
Let me think here for a moment. About 6 months ago, 6 or 7 months ago.
Yep. Oh, okay. That was not long ago.
Yeah, okay. About 6 or 7 months ago, I was visiting some friends out there, but I did not get a chance to go to the beach. And I love San Diego. I try to go to San Diego as much as I can.
That is where I first fell in love with California. I visited San Diego in my early 20s, and that's when I said, I have to live here someday.
Yeah, there are parts of California that are just beautiful. I'm not a big LA fan, but I love San Diego. And like I said, there's plenty of parts of California that are just absolutely beautiful. And it's close to Las Vegas. That's another positive. So I got to be honest. I grew up, I really liked Madonna. I've always liked Madonna. I like her music, even though I like her older music. I've watched some of her movies, and I've always been a big Madonna fan. I've never seen her in concert, but we've seen a trend here the last several years. This is not the first time this has happened, where Madonna is literally hours late to these concerts. And now we're learning that the fans are suing her. At least some of the fans are suing her for being so late to these shows. This is a interesting and bizarre lawsuit. I don't know if they have a case or not. What do you make of this?
It's such a crazy phenomenon. And my first question is like, what's going on that she's late? Is it because her team's not ready, but she's ready to go, and it's everyone else around her? Like, what's causing the lateness to happen? Because I want to know the reason why, because that, to me at least, that matters.
Well, it's disrespect to her fans. That's number
Yeah.
one. When people pay a lot of money to see a show, they expect you to be on time. It's one thing if you're 15, 20 minutes late. It's another thing when you're 3 hours late. I remember one of the biggest reasons why there were multiple Guns N' Roses tours that had to be canceled. And a big reason for that was Axl Rose. Axl Rose was always late to these shows. He didn't travel always with his other bandmates. Another name that comes to mind to me is the late Scott Weiland from Stone Temple Pilots, who, different reasons probably, but for Axl, probably different. I don't know. But Scott Weiland, we know he suffered from major drug abuse, drug addiction.
Mhm.
I don't know what Madonna's reasoning is. Maybe just diva-ish, but it's inexcusable. Fans have a right to be angry. I think fans have a right to get their money back for the show. And I guarantee you, if fans were getting their money back, that would mean Madonna's losing money and she wouldn't be late anymore. So I think she has to be held accountable financially in some way, but I'm not sure fans deserve thousands and thousands of dollars for it. I think they
Right.
deserve their money back for the show.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think like suing is the best way, but if they get their money back, that's great. And I'll be so curious what happens with this lawsuit, if it actually goes through or not.
Yeah, because it'll set a new precedence, right? I mean, we're not
Yeah.
just
Oh
talking about
God.
Madonna. We'd be talking about any artist. And, I think if there are emergencies, if somebody is ill or there's a death
Right.
in the family, there
Right.
are always going to be exceptions, but it doesn't sound like this is the exception for Madonna. But there's always exceptions to it. And you're right. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. All right. So here's a positive story. The end in 2023. I'll be honest. I'm not a big fan of flying. I've never liked it. I'm claustrophobic. It's uncomfortable. I don't like being trapped in there with a bunch of strangers. I hate everything about flying. But if you're worried about your safety, the good news is, zero airline crashes in 2023, one of the aviation's safest years ever. Now, I know that in Tokyo, there was a runway crash but it was more of a, not necessarily more error in pilot error, but it wasn't like an aviation situation where it was a technical error. And we've had a couple of those collisions on runways, but this is a good positive story, right, Nikole, that in 2023, there are no airline crashes.
It's unbelievable considering there are tens of thousands of flights every single day.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the math of that is, but it's huge. And the fact that there's been no crashes, that is unbelievable. And maybe it means we can finally get you on a plane.
Yeah.
Wait.
Well, I'll do it. I'll be honest
Okay.
with you. Like I fly if I have to, but
I have a question for you then. If you
Sure.
get claustrophobic on airplanes, do you feel the same way about cruises?
In order for me to feel that claustrophobic feeling, I'm unable to move at all.
Okay.
In a plane, if you're especially in the middle seat or the window seat, you can't move really at all. If I'm in the aisle seat, I'm able to get away with it a little bit because I'm able to get up. I could go to the restroom. So if I'm on an aisle seat, it's much better for me. Depends what situation it is on a cruise. If I'm in a cruise and I'm in my room, I'm still able to walk around. I'm not stuck in one spot. It might be in small quarters, but as long as if I'm able to walk around a little bit, I'm usually okay. So I think on a cruise, I would be okay.
Have you been on a cruise? I can't remember.
I never have. No, I've never
Neither
done
have
a
I.
cruise before.
Okay. I was curious.
That's something that I would eventually like to do.
Okay.
I
Good
wouldn't
to
be,
know.
yes, I would not be against it. That's something I would definitely like to at least try to do. But claustrophobia for me, if I'm like, I remember I was walking out of a big boxing fight. I don't remember which Floyd Mayweather fight it was, but I'm walking out of the MGM Grand. This was like maybe 12 years ago. And as I'm walking out of MGM Grand, anybody who knows MGM, it's a smaller arena, and people thought they heard gunshots. Turns out it wasn't gunshots. It was a wall that fell down. And there's thousands of people, and I'm like this, and I'm walking out of the fight, and people are getting trampled, and I was one of them. I broke a tooth, and I got trampled, and that was horrible. It was a horrible situation, and I think that made me a little claustrophobic. I think there's other reasons for it as well, but in big crowds, that bothers me. In an elevator, although you're only in an elevator, hopefully for 20 or 30 seconds, so it's not so bad for me. I just try to close my eyes and breathe a little bit, but yeah, airplanes are tough for me. They're
I'm
tough.
so sorry you had that experience. That sounds extremely scary.
It was not fun. It was not fun, but 99.9% of the time, I don't have that claustrophobic feeling. I try to avoid it at all costs.
Yeah.
And if I am put in that situation, I think the best thing for me to do is focus on my breathing and try to close my eyes. And that's, we all have our phobias, right? Do you have any phobias?
Totally.
Never asked you that.
That's a good question. I used to be absolutely terrified of spiders. And the reason is
Is that really a phobia? We're kind of all scared of spiders, though.
I mean, but to like an unhealthy degree, where like when I was little, bless my dad, he thought it'd be funny that because you get spiders all the time. And he thought it'd be funny to grab it and then chase me around the house with it. So I became like panicked and I would lock myself in the room and it created a pattern where I started to hyperventilate anytime I saw a spider because now not only do I see it, but the idea of I'm going to be chased by it, maybe it's living, it's going to crawl on me or it's squished and the guts get all over me. So I was petrified most of my life because of that. And probably only in the past 5 years can I see a spider and not have like an instant feeling of panic. I'm like,
well, you're not alone. You're not alone because when you say grab it and chase you around the house with it, that's pretty every night in the White House when Donald Trump was president. At least that's what I heard. He grabbed it and then he chased Melania around the house with it. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's true or not. No, going back to spiders. I hate spiders. They're disgusting. I don't even like when people steps on a spider. I hate the sound and it's like, it's just kind of gross. Yeah, it's gross. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess if I was like naked and afraid and I had to eat spiders to survive, I probably would, but it wouldn't be a very pleasant experience. I think most of us don't like spiders. I've never met anybody that loves spiders and just like puts spiders all over their body. I don't know. So I don't think you're alone there.
Yeah. My other phobia is I was so poor in college that I would sell my plasma every week.
Oh.
But I also don't hydrate very well, and I have teeny tiny veins. So when you're underhydrated and you have teeny tiny veins, they poke and prod and like dig in your skin for your veins. And doing that weekly, it started a phobia to where to this day I hyperventilate typically when I have to get blood drawn, and they're always like, lay down, don't pass out, just because I have a history of being poked and prodded so much. So that's another one I really don't enjoy.
I mean, you keep setting yourself up for these jokes about being poked and prodded, but I won't go there. But
you're welcome, Brian. You're welcome.
You keep setting yourself up for these jokes, and it's just I don't know. I don't think I have enough.
Spike, baby.
Yes, that's right. Let's talk a little bit about Diana Nyad. This is I guess you could say a controversial figure. 110-mile, 52-hour Cuba to Florida swim at the age of 60 years old. I don't know about you, but I couldn't do 1 mile, let alone 110 miles. How can you do this at the age of 60? This is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. And she attempted it in her 20s and she failed about, I think, like 36 or 48 miles in. So like she didn't quite, or it was in the 50s. She missed it. And when she decided to go for it in her 60s, her partner at the time, I don't know if they're still together, but she's like, you're crazy. If you couldn't have done it in your 20s, what makes you think you could do it when you're 60? And she said, what I have now is this. And she pointed to her brain. I have the grit. I have the understanding. I have lived experience. Like now I know like what this takes. And like, this is like one of my last shots because I'm at this age. So she attempted it in 2011 and failed, attempted it in 2012 and failed. And finally in 2013 at age 60, she finally succeeded. And it is an absolutely mind-blowing feat. Holy cow.
Really mesmerizing. I don't know how physically anybody at the age of 20, let alone 60, could do what this woman, what Diana did. It's really mesmerizing and unbelievable. And it's inspirational. And I think there's something to say to that. No matter what your age is, if you have it up here, you can do a lot of pretty incredible things that a lot of people never thought that the human body could do. So kudos to her, man. That's really an awesome story. Another awesome story, a positive one, is Elton John, who I had the luxury of meeting a few years ago, Sir Elton John himself. And he does so many great things for charity, raising money for charity. And he's done so much great work even here in Las Vegas. And he just received another Emmy. And he's in a pretty, I guess you could call it historic. A historic group of people have now been able to accomplish what he's just been able to accomplish with this Emmy. What do you make of Elton John and his career?
I love it. And I think he's only the 19th person, I think I read that right, who has an EGOT, who's gotten all 4 awards. And like the people who can achieve that level are like masters at multiple crafts. And I just have so much respect. And I think of all that Elton John lived through, being gay and all the homophobia and just his own evolution to get where he is today. And and he's reached like the highest status you can get as an artist. And I'm just like so freaking happy for him.
Yeah, he's an icon. So I met Elton
Yeah.
John a few years ago. He would do this every year, this charity event, raising money for those who are suffering from AIDS. And it was a tennis event where Andre Agassi and his wife, Steffi Graf, were here. A bunch of other tennis stars. The legendary Billie Jean King was involved. And I had a chance to shake his hand and ask him a few questions. And I was amazed at his sense of humor, at his fun, it sometimes even dirty sense of humor, his jokes about, being attracted to other young men. And I just thought it was really cool. Fun that he had that. I never knew that about Elton John, and he had a very fun sense of humor to him. And I really appreciated that about him. Obviously his talent on the pianos and his songs are just songs that will live on forever through eternity. And just a legend, right? I mean, just a legend. When I think of someone in front of the piano, Ray Charles obviously is somebody that I would think about. And then the next person that I would name down the list is Elton John.
Yes.
Billy Joel's another one. But yeah, I mean, they're just in a class of their own. And Elton John is pretty incredible. I've seen him do a few shows here in Las Vegas a couple times, and blown away by his voice, blown away. He sounds just as good, if not better in person than what he does on his albums. And it's well deserving on his part. No question about it. What are you up to this weekend, Nikole? What are some of the doings for Nikole Mitchell this weekend?
I am on mom duty this weekend. So one of my kids is having a birthday party and a sleepover. So I'll be entertaining a bunch of young kids, which I actually love. I love entertaining them. And then, of course, in my adult time, hanging out with my OnlyFans people, catching up the DMs. So if you want to come hang out with me there, I'll be in the DMs.
Do you have any days where you just don't do any work at all? It's just family time, whether you're with your partner. Do you have days where you just, that's it? I'm not recording anything. I'm not going on OnlyFans, no matter how much money I can make. This is a day off.
Very rarely.
Wow.
Very rarely. And my problem is I like working.
Mm-hmm.
I love what I do, which is like a great problem to have. But I've noticed that it's like I very rarely take entire day off. I'll take chunks of time off in the day, but very rarely will I take an entire day off.
I love working for the most part. I love radio. I don't always 100% of the time enjoy some of the things that come with it or don't come with it. But I would say that the most enjoyable part of my job is when I'm finally on the air. When I'm finally able to talk in front of a microphone is fun for me. It's the stuff outside of that sometimes is fun, but sometimes also isn't fun. If that
I totally agree with you. I go live twice a week, every week in my OnlyFans. It's my favorite time. Same thing, live energy. You're connecting with your people.
Right.
And then that's when you shine. And there's a lot of back work stuff I don't love doing either, but it's what allows me to come on and shine just like for you. So I totally get that.
Sure. No question about it. I haven't even really thought too much ahead of what I'm going to be doing this weekend, other than today, I'm going to be catching up on some rest. I'm supposed to be going to a cigar bar tonight. I believe, of course, we're going to be watching the football this weekend. We're going to be watching games this weekend. And I didn't even announce this, but Coach Pierce is now officially Coach Pierce, right? Is that right, Numchuck? Is that breaking news? Nikole, the Raiders have announced that their interim coach is now the official head coach. By the way, I've been saying 95% that was going to happen. So Pierce is now the official head coach. So the Raiders now have an official head coach. So I'm sure I'll be talking about that a lot on Monday. Big sports weekend, a lot to get to there, and some rest and relaxation, which is what I try to do. I try to rest my brain a little bit on the weekend and then get ready for Monday. That's what I try to do. I guess it's not working, but that's what I try to do.
You are the cutest, and you're so deserving of the R&R, and I hope you get some time to just chill. I hope you have fun at the game, and I look forward to connecting with you next week.
Yes, Nikole, great topics. I love them as always, and I appreciate you coming on. And we will do this again next week, my friend. Have a great weekend with you and your family, and good luck on OnlyFans this weekend. And we will catch you next week. Okay. Have a good weekend. Thank you, Nikole. Appreciate that. That's Nikole Mitchell, everybody. Pastor turned stripper. Always fun to talk pop culture with her, and some really good stories and some positive ones to talk about. Let me just quickly address this again. So Antonio Pierce has officially been named the head coach. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's been leaked. There's going to be a press conference. It's going to be announced. officially, yes, Pierce is going to be the head coach. Here's my thoughts on this. And my opinions haven't changed. First of all, I knew that Mark Davis was going to do this. Why? First of all, overreaction, in my opinion, to what took place with Bisaccia and Ole and the coaching several years back, and the horrific decision with Daniels. That was terrible. It set the team back years. So that was a big mistake. Also going with the fact that, the players love this guy. Also going with the fact that, yes, he did have an above 500 record. With that being said, there were really no substantial games that meant anything for the playoff picture. I understand going into Kansas City and winning that game is a big deal. Kansas City's not as good as they once were. Still a nice win. The Raiders don't have a quarterback. The defense has been very good under Coach Pierce. The guys have been playing hard. I'm not going to sit here and say Pierce has not done a good job, because he has. But let's not forget about that 3-0 loss he had as well at home against Minnesota. I don't think Pierce is the guy that's going to get Raiders fans what they truly want, which is getting back to a Super Bowl. I don't think Pierce is the guy. Pierce is certainly an upgrade from Josh McDaniels, but I don't think he's the guy. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm rooting for him. He seems like a really nice guy. I understand why Mark Davis has done what he did. Would have been nice if we could have got a Harbaugh in here. Would have been nice if we could have got a big name in here. But Pierce is now going to have the opportunity as the head coach, but I put him on a short leash. Give him next year. If they don't make the playoffs next year, then I know some people are going to think this is harsh. You don't make the playoffs next year, make a change. You don't want somebody in here that is going to waste years. And I'm not saying that's going to happen with Pierce. Let's give him a year. Let's kind of pick the brain of Pierce. Let's give him an entire year with the offseason, and let's see what he can do. But as far as a decision, not a surprise to me. All right, we're going to cut this short here, and I want to thank everybody for all their comments. I want to thank everybody for their interaction with this show. It just seems to be growing and growing by the day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting literally 40,000 views a day of this show. That's wild. 40,000 views a day we are getting of this show, and I have a lot of people to thank for that. So the show is growing. Thank you to the sponsors that are continuing to grow, and I'm really happy where this show is going, and I appreciate everybody. Thanks for Justin for getting all those F words out of that audio that I played in the first segment from that lunatic Sean Strickland, that UFC fighter. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We will see you on Monday. I hope everybody has a phenomenal weekend. Take care, everybody.
Hey everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at